Good afternoon, morning, evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. My rooster, Frankie, says hello as well. Anyway, hope you guys are doing alright. Thanks for tuning back into my YouTube channel. I know it's been a while since I've made a video. It's because I was working third shift 5 nights a week, and it really didn't leave much time for anything, really. So what time I did have, I wanted to spend with my family, as I'm sure most of you can understand. But anyway, so today I kind of want to talk about the Steyr AUG, AUG, however you say it. You know what this rifle is. This is not a Microtech MSAR STG 556. This is the Steyr, as you can see, Steyr arms. This particular model, as you can tell by the front sling swivel, is an A3M1. And this is probably the most common model out there nowadays, because if you go buy a new AUG anywhere, by the way, I say AUG, if you go buy a new AUG anywhere, this is probably the model that's going to be for sale. A2s are rare, A1s are rare and expensive. A2s are kind of expensive too, but and the A3s with the Sabre Defense receivers are pretty uncommon. I don't think Sabre Defense made a whole lot of them, and they're pretty desirable because they don't have that front sling swivel. It allows you to mount that, like the full length rail that goes all the way out past this front sling swivel. This front sling swivel right here is, I don't know, not the greatest place to mount a sling swivel, but kind of working with limited real estate with an AUG. And as you can see, I have a brass deflector here. This one is 3D printed by a guy named Janny Corp, or Core, I don't know how he pronounces it. Some dude in Pennsylvania that 3D prints AUG parts. Have not shot it with that attached yet, so I can't quite recommend it, but I'm going shooting this week on Friday, so I'll update you guys. Now I mostly shoot steel cased ammo through this AUG, and if it holds up to steel cased ammo, I think it'll be a recommendation that I'll make. As you see, I have this is a Malaysian surplus mag in it, and I have a nifty little magazine release. This is also 3D printed by the same guy, Janny Corp, or Core, again, I don't know how to say it, but yeah, instead of the traditional like button style where you would press like this, you'd squeeze like that and the magazine would come out. This is a lever style, just like that. So that's pretty awesome. I like it so far without a magazine in it, or if you don't have the magazine all the way in it, it wiggles more than I would like, but magazine all the way in it, it's pretty tight. So I don't know, it's pretty cool. Somebody who is really used to using AKs, I actually really appreciate this, because rather than like torque the magazine down, you just come up, squeeze, and pull, which is a lot easier. It's really reminiscent of like a G36 or a G3 even. But anyway, I kind of wanted to do a video that is in defense of the Steyr AUG. And the reason that I want to make a video that is in defense of the Steyr AUG is because I think the AUG receives a lot of criticism. And honestly, I think it receives a lot of criticism from people who, 1, have no experience with it, 2, have never shot one, or 3, read online or watch a YouTube video of somebody saying they don't like it, and then they just repeat what they've heard other people say. Because I kind of was like that until I owned an AUG, to be honest with you. You know, I was like, oh, the AUG is kind of sucks. It's you know, they're not a good suppressor host, and they're you know, they're overgassed, which is not true, and they're just, you know, you can't really put lights and lasers on it and things like that, and so it's not a good gun. But then I realized, well, then I got an AUG, and I shouldered it for the first time, and I was like, wow, That's legitimately one of the most svelte, ergonomic rifles that I have ever put to my shoulder. Like when you shoulder an AUG, you can tell like somebody who was a shooter designed the gun. Like it's just comfortable. It just fits in your shoulder pocket well. The your cheek fits right there on the cheek rest really well. The bolt release is really intuitive. The safety, I could take it or leave it. Honestly, the safety would be perfect if they would just take these sharp corners off of it. Because I don't know how well you can see it, but those corners on the safety, they're really sharp. That's like a perfect 90. It's like a perfect 90-degree angle all the way around, and especially right here on this very corner where your thumb is likely to press is exceedingly sharp. And if you're left-handed and you're shooting the AUG, you have your left hand around it and the safety off, so the safety's off. When you're pulling the trigger, that safety is digging right there into your finger, which kind of sucks. But anyway, I don't want to get into the downsides yet. But yeah, I think it's really a phenomenal rifle. And after having owned it, so I've had 2 AUGs now. One AUG that I had was used, and when I got it, it ran steel cased ammo just fine. So I could put it on the regular gas setting and shoot Tula, Wolf, all the cheap Russian stuff, and it ran it just fine. Obviously, it ran brass case just fine too. And I got this AUG new. This AUG was brand new out of the box. I was the very besides the factory test fire, obviously, I was the first person to have ever shot it. And when I shot it, I put 10 rounds of brass cased ammo through it on the fouled setting, so it's letting extra gas back onto the piston, basically overgassing the gun if you've got it really dirty, it's in adverse conditions. And it ran it fine. The recoil was kind of excessive, so I put it back on the normal gas setting, shot 20 more rounds of brass cased ammo through it, finished off the mag, ran just fine. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just try it. So I loaded up a full mag of steel cased ammo on the normal gas setting after only having put 30 rounds through this gun, and wouldn't you know it, it ran it all just fine. And since then, I've shot almost exclusively steel cased ammo through this gun. So I think a lot of people out there who are saying, oh, AUGs don't run steel cased ammo, have probably never shot an AUG with steel cased ammo, have never tried it, and have probably just repeating something they read online. Anyway, it looks like it's starting to rain out here, so I better keep this video brief unless I want to get washed out. But another complaint I hear about AUGs is that they recoil a lot. Now, I'm here to tell you it's just not true. Like, it recoils about as much as my 5.56 AK, my Saiga 223, which is not much at all. It's a very smooth shooting gun. And in fact, my wife is 5'7" and weighs, I want to say like 135, 140 pounds. She's pretty slim woman, and she doesn't have a whole lot of upper body strength. And this is the gun that she can pick up and get rounds on a steel plate at 100 yards, standing unsupported. She really can't do that with my other rifles. So that's cool to me, because if I take her to the range with me, since we've had a son, I don't really do that as much. But back before we had a son, I could take her to the range with me, and this is the gun that she actually liked to shoot. So I haven't talked about the optic on this gun yet, because I want to do a separate review of the optic itself. Spoiler, it's a really good optic, especially on this rifle for what I'm using this rifle for. Anyway, but I think where the AUG does fall short is used for like night vision. Now, you do have a lot of rail space out here, which is okay. You could put a laser aiming box here, but the trick with that is, where are you going to run the activation switch, pressure switch? Do you run it on the pistol grip and run the risk of negligently discharging your laser aiming module a lot? Do you run it here and interfere with charging the weapon, or do you run it like back here and put your hand back here? So it's really not that many good options with the factory configuration for night vision settings. I have a buddy who decided he was going to use his AUG as his night vision rifle, and after a while I think he gave up on it because it's just really not meant for that. And he kind of learned that the hard way. Another criticism of the AUG that I have is this dang rail right here, where you run the charging handle. It has cut me. In fact, that scar right there, that's actually a healed cut from where I was charging this the other day, and it cut me. It cut me pretty good. If you have an AUG and you're shooting it without gloves, this will cut you. Eventually, it's going to get you. It's sharp as can be, and it will get you. But it's not a big deal. I mean, I'm probably going to get some rail covers, or like some of the rubber rail, I don't know, not really covers. They like fit in these slots, and they have a little bumper that comes out on the side, on both sides. Probably going to get one of those and throw it in there. That would do the job. Another criticism I have of the AUG is the aftermarket for the Steyr AUG. While it exists, just about everything for an AUG is really expensive. You could get aftermarket rails, very expensive. You can get aftermarket triggers, aftermarket mag releases, and aftermarket safeties, all very expensive for what they are, in my opinion. Now, the out-of-the-box trigger of the AUG is not great. It's not horrible, but it's not great. It's pretty mid. In order to get the AUG trigger to like something comparable to a aftermarket AR-15 trigger, you can do it. The Arid trigger with certain springs in it will get you there. However, it is not drop safe. And Steyr says as much. That is not drop safe. If you go fiddling about with the trigger too much in this gun, you will make it not drop safe. Now, for some people that's okay. For me, this is my like hiking rifle. So when I go hiking in the woods, this is one of the guns that I'll take with me. This is the main gun I'm going to take with me, and I'm not okay with hiking with a gun that is not drop safe. So that is one of the biggest criticisms I have of the AUG. That, and again, the price of the aftermarket accessories. You can get a handguard, the claw gear handguard, that will fit over this barrel, made up to this rail, and I think it attaches via these threads right here. But it's like $300 for that handguard, and it's just really expensive. It's just really expensive. I think if you're gonna get an AUG, my advice to you would be, if you're on the fence, should you do it? I would say if you're gonna get an AUG and you're gonna throw an optic on it and you're gonna leave it mostly in the stock configuration, you're gonna leave it mostly plain, I say go for it. It's a good rifle as it is. There's room for improvement, and I'm going to replace that safety. And I might do like the factory trigger with the red spring kit. That's still drop safe. It's not as good as a tuned AR trigger. Then again, I don't necessarily need every one of my rifles to have like match grade triggers in it. You know what I mean? But I think if you're going to get an AUG and if you want an AUG for the sake of having an AUG, I think do it. If you want to buy an AUG and you want to set it up for like a night vision gun, you want to set it up for, your tactical like lights, lasers, pushing your lights as far out to the end of the barrel as you can, putting a suppressor on it, I don't think this is the best gun for it. But that doesn't mean it's a bad gun. It just means it's maybe not the best gun for what you want to use it for. I think that is where this gun gets a lot of hate from people. I think they say, the AUG is not a good suppressor host. The AUG is not the best for putting lights and lasers on, so therefore it's a bad gun. Nothing could be further from the truth. It's a phenomenally accurate gun, very reliable, very easy to disassemble, very comfortable to shoot. It is a good gun. It's not the best gun for everything, and no gun is the best gun for everything. The AR-15 is good for a lot, but it's not the best for everything. The AK is good for a lot, but it's not the best for everything. The AUG, good for a lot, and good on its own merits, but not the best for everything. Anyway, guys, thank you for listening to me ramble for almost 16 minutes now. Seeing the same old shaky cell phone camera footage that you're used to here. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate your time. And stay tuned. Now that I'm on a different work schedule, I plan to make more videos. I got a couple guns I want to talk about. I got a CZ75 Compact, Saiga 223 that I'm in the process of converting to an AK-102, and some other stuff coming that I think you guys might be interested in. Anyway, you guys take it easy, and I'll see you next time.